I'm Caroline Collins, and this is Fox 26 Crime Files. We start with a gross case, a therapist criminally charged with sexual inappropriate behavior that will turn your stomach. Here's Fox 26's Natalie He.
29-year-old William Abalos was arrested in January and charged with invasive visual recording and indecent exposure in Montgomery County. Investigators say Abalos was working as a licensed physical therapist at Select Physical Therapy off Rayford Road in Spring when he would allegedly take his female clients into private rooms, expose his genitals to them, and take pictures and videos without their consent.
And they came out of a rehab clinic even more broken than when they went in. We have sued them for negligent hiring, training, and negligent supervision, and we know that they were negligent in their supervision because this never should have happened.
Attorney Anna Greenberg says her clients would go in seeking treatment for a pinched nerve in their neck or help after a car accident and would be instructed by Abalos to conduct a grip test with a pillowcase.
But she could feel something inside the pillowcase, and she couldn't see what she was squeezing, and he told her to move her hand back and forth, grip tighter, not so tight. And then when he told her to grip the final time, she felt actual skin.
Documents said Abalos would also touch the women's feet inappropriately.
He was working on her feet, touching her calf, rubbing her feet when she felt what she was convinced was the head of a penis on the end of her feet, and then a sticky liquid substance. There was a substantial amount of pornographic material, including foot fetish pornographic material, which makes sense now, knowing what he was doing to women in that private room.
That was Natalie He reporting. A 17-year-old arrested in Northwest Harris County accused of randomly shooting students with a pellet gun as they walked home from school. Fox 26's Matthew Seedorf spoke exclusively with one of the victims.
A 6th grade student had been walking home from school last week when he felt something sting his shoulder. He didn't realize that someone from across the street in a house was targeting him and other students with a pellet gun. In total, 4 kids were shot over 3 days in the last week, shot by a teen with a pellet gun. All of the victims between 12 and 16 years old, students from Hopper Middle School or Cypress Springs High School. Today, 17-year-old Jordan Balderas was arrested, charged with injuring children and 4 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. We met with one of the kids hit, the pellet going in and out of his shoulder.
My friend had told me it was a gun, and then he started running, so I started running too.
You would think your child is safe walking home, but apparently not. I'm thankful that they called him and everybody's safe.
Right now, the alleged shooter remains in jail. His bond is set at $4 million. Reporting in Cypress, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 26 News.
A man wielding a knife threatened a graduation party and then was shot and killed by police. Fox 26's Shelby Rose reports from North Houston.
The remnants of a graduation party remain at a home on Palmyra Street in North Houston. A night meant for celebration, turning deadly just after 11 p.m. Saturday.
During the celebration, a male who is believed to live in the neighborhood confronted them and basically yelling and hollering, claiming the music is too loud.
Witnesses say he threatened them with a knife, and if the music wasn't turned down, he would return. So they called Houston police.
While they were interviewing the reportee and all the people around in the party, the male who displayed a knife earlier showed up.
And the witnesses quickly brought it to the officer's attention. The suspect with the knife still in hand.
And I also observed the male begin advancing towards them, and they began backing up, trying to create the distance and try to reposition himself. And multiple times they ordered the male to drop the knife, which the male did not comply.
Houston police say the officer was then backed into a car and had nowhere else to go, so he fired his weapon at the suspect.
It is believed that he discharged at least more than once and struck the male multiple times.
Despite life-saving measures, the suspect did succumb to his injuries. Neighbors telling Fox 26 there are frequent parties at the home, but no one could think of which neighbor would have done such a thing. Now, multiple investigations are underway, and HPD is still asking for more witnesses to come forward.
I do encourage anyone with any footage of any cell phone cameras, any witness of witness the incident to come forward to let us know.
And per department policy, the body camera footage from the officer will be released in the next 30 days. Reporting in North Houston, Shelby Rose, Fox 26 News.
So this next story involves a shooting that actually happened Saturday, and police were called to that scene. So why wasn't the body found for days? Here's Fox 26's Dominique Keith.
As it turns out, over the weekend, a neighbor called 911 saying they heard a gunshot coming from a particular apartment. So Harris County Sheriff's deputies arrived, knocked, didn't get an answer, and left. Well, days later, a family member went to the man's apartment and found him inside, shot dead.
He's been dead since Saturday. I mean, make that make sense, and y'all just finding out on Monday?
Residents here are in disbelief.
It's sad, you know. I don't understand.
Not only because one of their neighbors was shot and killed inside his apartment here at the Timber Run complex on Woodforest Boulevard, but also because when the gunfire rang out Saturday, someone called 911 reporting they specifically thought the sound came from this apartment. Harris County Sheriff's deputies went to check it out, but left when no one answered the door.
My thing it is, if you knock on a door and that you don't respond, why didn't you go in?
I heard about 2 or 3 gunshots on Saturday.
And did that concern you?
Yes, ma'am. It made me nervous by me being disabled. I didn't know what was going on.
Well, it's very scary because you don't know the situation, if it was personal or if it was some random.
Days after deputies went to the apartment, the man's sister on Monday broke down the door, finding her brother shot dead.
It could be me, it could be another neighbor.
Are you planning to do anything differently, to protect yourself?
Well, of course, just watch my surroundings. Be more aware of what's around.
According to the Harris County Sheriff's Office, a deputy during a welfare check can only knock and check the perimeter. They cannot force entry or go inside a home or an apartment unless they hear or see something suspicious. The person who shot the man to death still hasn't been caught. In Northeast Harris County, I'm Dominique Keith, Fox 26 News.
Well, 2 homeowners in Northeast Houston have a lot of costly damage to fix after a police chase went wild. Here's Fox 26's Matthew Seedorf.
Intense moments Thursday outside this home in Northeast Houston. A police officer with his gun pointed at a suspect. Their own cruiser crushed like a can inside the home next door.
I was really scared, and I was like, I don't know if they're going to shoot.
He stopped at a crosswalk at the intersection. That's where we let him up. Then he stopped and took off again.
The crash ending what was a high-speed police chase through neighborhoods.
We're still headed northbound on Cimarron Street. He's going about 88 miles per hour.
The suspect's car stopping inside this home on Holly Park Drive.
I was right here, so I saw the cars coming.
Rosa Hernandez out mowing the lawn.
They almost killed me. Like, I'm glad I'm alive, because it was like a foot apart.
The speeding police car plowing into her home she just purchased 3 weeks ago.
I know they have to get the robbers or the bad people, but I think they have to be careful.
This is where Rosa was mowing the lawn, narrowly hit by that police cruiser. And then just next door, this is where the suspect's car went barreling into the home. Just look at the tire tracks and the pieces of car wreckage left behind.
You see the front wall's all destroyed. There was a closet here with some clothes and some other personal items.
The suspect's white car pulled from the Perez family's home. The driver arrested, no one injured, but these homeowners not happy.
I'm kind of frustrated right there because, something like this happened out of a traffic stop. You can't let the officer go. You have two family lives here that changed. Somebody could have died. That's the worst part.
Reporting in Houston, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 26 News.
She cried for the return of a missing boy, only to later plead guilty to his murder. Fox 26's Natalie He has the story.
2 years ago, my son went missing. For these past couple of years, I have been bargaining with the murderer.
Sarah Olson tried as best as she could to remain composed after 31-year-old Teresa Balboa, her son's convicted killer, was granted a plea deal by a Harris County judge Wednesday.
So she wanted less time. Today, she admitted to what she did for 52 years and the chance of parole in 26. My son did not even get 6 years of life, and she still gets a chance at one. This is not justice.
As part of the exchange, Balboa had to admit in court to murdering 5-year-old Samuel Olson by hitting his head with a blunt object in May of 2021. His death happened just days before his 6th birthday. At the time, Balboa was dating Samuel's father, Dalton. Investigators said Balboa was the one to report Samuel's disappearance, which prompted a massive search effort from Texas EquiSearch.
Have Texas EquiSearch pretend, for days, taking out their time and resources that they had to expand, all knowing this was all a bunch of BS.
Authorities later learned Balboa lied and had dumped 5-year-old Samuel's body in a storage unit before moving his remains in a plastic bin to a Jasper motel.
It's just unfathomable, and she deserves never to breathe free air again.
Samuel's father, Dalton, his mother, Sarah, and grandmother, Tanya, were all present in court Wednesday and were visibly shaking with emotion. Sarah and Tanya both took the stand to read impact statements in which they called Balboa a monster that stole Sammy's life.
Because she had a bad childhood, she gets to take other children's lives away and still get to see the light of day. Not everybody was held accountable either. And that's something I have to continue to live with daily.
Balboa and her attorney did not say anything after that plea deal in court today. 2 other people, including Balboa's roommate, have also been charged in connection with Samuel Olson's death. From the courthouse, Natalie He, Fox 26 News.
And it's a broken record, or maybe we should say it's a revolving door at the jail. Here's Randy Wallace with Breaking Bond.
In 2014, 27-year-old Eddie Garola got something almost unheard of in the criminal justice system.
I've been around, for 30-some odd years, and you don't normally see someone get a deferred adjudication for an aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon, especially involving a gun, but he did.
What that means is the judge is giving them a second chance. There's no felony conviction. They can walk out of that courtroom as not a convicted felon.
6 months after his probation ends, Garola picks up 6 felony charges in less than a year. In a plea agreement, he's given 6 years for all 6 felonies.
You want to talk about a sweetheart deal.
Garola was paroled from prison in 2021.
It is unusual for someone to be on parole and get bond after bond after bond.
Even though he was on parole, Garola was granted a bond for a charge of felon in possession of a weapon. Garola's in the 248th Judge Hillary Unger's court. Even with the new criminal charge, parole officials allow Garola to remain on parole.
That's another break that he was given.
Earlier this month, Garola is arrested again. His new charges include possessing illegal body armor.
In my 27 years as a defense attorney, I've seen less than a handful of people who have been accused of that type of offense.
Garola is also charged with possession with intent to deliver.
Just about every drug you can imagine, he was in possession of.
Garola also gets his second charge of felon in possession of a weapon.
They found 43 guns in his possession, in his vehicle. That should scare the bejesus out of everybody.
That was Randy Wallace reporting. So what kind of vehicle do you drive? Is it among the most popular cars and trucks targeted by thieves? That's a big question. Matt Seedorf is here to tell you.
Stolen vehicles adding up by the thousands across Houston. Thieves on average stealing about 53 cars and trucks per day just in city limits.
It is a problem, but it's a preventable problem.
The HPD impound lot full of cars taken from innocent owners.
We bring them here for positive identification before they're released back to hopefully the owner.
VIN numbers wiped clean.
This one here, we've actually removed the fake VIN.
Others stripped down to the engine.
These motors don't come in cheap cars. This is the motor out of a Hellcat.
GMC, Chevy, Ford, GMC.
That's a Chevy there.
Pickup trucks continuously most targeted by thieves in Houston.
Somebody goes online and is going to pay $40,000 for this truck. This is a $100,000 truck. That's a clue.
But new last month, according to Houston police, the Hyundai Elantra and Sonata both ranked in the top 5 for most stolen vehicles in the city. The Kia Optima and Soul also in the top 10.
We got 4 of those in the top 10. which actually they surpassed the Fords and Dodge trucks, which is concerning.
Do you actually steal a Kia? Is it an easy process? Hell yeah.
A new TikTok trend inspiring some crooks to target Hyundai and Kia cars.
So this is what we need to lock up. They make a box that secures around this.
These thieves work quick, sometimes smashing windows to gain easy access.
Go buy an aftermarket alarm.
And it's obnoxiously loud.
Right. As make sure your alarm has a tracker on it. Alarm like this is going to get some attention.
Not quite in the top 10, but close, Jeeps and Corvettes. Houston on pace to have roughly 20,000 cars stolen this year. Matthew Seedorf, Fox 26 News.
And that wraps up this week's Fox 26 Crime Files. I'm Caroline Collins. Thanks for watching.